Hello everyone, today I wanted to talk about the reaction between calcium metal and water. So what's going on here is the calcium, once mixed with the water, will actually displace one of the hydrogens and will form calcium hydroxide and the hydrogen gas. This reaction will actually produce a basic solution because of the calcium hydroxide dissociating into the calcium ion and the hydroxide ion. Here's the dissociation of the calcium hydroxide. All right, one way to measure the pH is actually by finding the amount of moles of calcium hydroxide and then doubling it to find the amount of moles of the hydroxide ions, and then dividing it by the liters or the amount of liters of water that you're putting it in. Once you find the hydroxide's concentration, you want to divide 1 times 10 to the negative 14th by that concentration, and you will get the hydrogen concentration from that. And then the final thing you have to plug in is the hydrogen's concentration into this formula right here to find the pH. Now we're going to take a look at this reaction, but to measure the pH, we're actually going to use some litmus paper. Before we take a look at the reaction, I wanted to talk about the Ksp of the calcium hydroxide. So here we have the Ksp formula, which is right here, and this is the Ksp value. Now you can see that it's a very, very small value, which means that it's not very soluble in water. So actually over time we'll see a precipitate form as the calcium hydroxide starts to form solids. Now keep in mind that this is at standard lab conditions, which is 25 degrees Celsius and 1 atm or atmosphere. And it's not, our demonstration is not going to be exactly at that, but it's going to be close enough. All right, so here we have some water and we're going to dip in a pH strip, litmus paper, and as we can see, it's a pH of 7. And we're going to add the calcium and see what happens to the pH. All right, so now that the reaction has gone to completion, we're going to check the pH again using the litmus paper. As you can tell, it is a very basic solution. Another way that we can tell that is a very basic solution is the fact that it turns pink. The reason that it turns pink is because I add some phenolphthalein, which indicates that it turns basic by turning pink. And also another thing I would like to say is there's some precipitate at the bottom because calcium hydroxide is actually not very soluble, as we talked about with the Ksp. All right, so I've collected a small sample of the calcium hydroxide solution, and we can see some solids being suspended in the water, as well as some solid calcium hydroxide on the bottom. Thank you for watching my video on this quick calcium and water demonstration, and I hope you enjoyed.